Tomorrow, Speed is doubling down with 10 hours of live Barrett-Jackson coverage from Las Vegas. See the auction's most anticipated lots cross the block when live coverage continues tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on Speed. And right now, everyone's doubling down on twos. That's the 22 of Joey Coulter out in front. He has a 2-second lead over James Busher, who has gotten by Johnny Sauter now for that second spot.
Twos are wild then, right?
Yeah. They are wild up front.
It's a hard four there, isn't it?
It is a hard four. Or Janet, we talked to her, and well,
Todd Bodine.
Bodine around.
Speaking of Janet, there's her husband spinning around. That's unusual to see here this early in the race. Talked about these tires having a lot of grip. He was running inside the top 10, and the baby got away from him.
Yeah, the pole was 3 miles an hour faster than it was the last time we were here a couple months ago.
Heck, I was looking up, the trucks are running faster than the cars. They're outrunning the Nationwide cars. If that doesn't tell you something about how tough these trucks are and the speed that they have in them.
Take another look. Right side of your screen, the 11 coming in.
He just got loose getting in the corner there. A lot of guys were fighting that getting in the corner as they turned down off the wall.
You can see Todd still got the gas on, Phil. He's got his the foot on the gas pedal, keeping those rear tires churning away from that wall. He didn't want to just lock them up so they'd slide up toward the wall. Listen, look here as he slides down the racetrack. The reason why he's able to do that is he drove it until the very end. That's what you'll see everybody in NASCAR do, basically. They won't ever give up. They'll think there's some way they're going to get this baby saved. And because of the job Todd did spinning, he's able to keep going.
We've seen Todd Bodine spin and win before, too, remember?
Yeah, don't count that out tonight. He's strong. He's running inside the top 10.
Always very good on mile-and-a-half racetracks. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Norm Benning.
And you know, something else, a caution at this point in the race, it could put some strategy into some of these guys playing. Come in, get a little gas, maybe 2 tires. Some people might stay out, but I think most of them will probably want a little gas, won't they, Phil?
You would think so. That gets them in the window where they're comfortably, be able to make this on 2 more stops. But I don't know. I think almost now the guys at the back of the lead lap really have nothing to lose by coming in. The guys up front probably don't want to give up the track position, but we're going to see what happens here.
We sure saw a lot of pit strategy a week ago in Iowa. Guys choosing not to come onto pit road when conventional thought would have been they should have been on pit road.
It looks like they're getting ready to come down pit road. You see Joey all the way down on the bottom of the racetrack. I'd say they're coming.
Long line of trucks making their way down onto the apron.
They saw what happened last week.
Follow the leader onto pit road. A few trucks back, the 31. Right now running in the second spot, James Busher. We go to pit road and hurry.
All right, come on down here.
Rick, it's going to be fuel only and a slight wedge adjustment for the 31 of James Busher. A little bit free on exit. Ray.
Honey Sauter's Hot Honey's race truck is a little bit tight in the center. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for him. At the bottom of your screen, you see Nelson Piquet Jr. This is the truck that he used to win at Michigan. Those guys get their service and are already away. And now at the front of the field, Joey Coulter will get fuel in his truck. He comes in first. He'll roll out third behind the 7 and the 18.
It looked like a very close call for Todd Bodine trying to get in his stall.
It may have been a little closer than that. It looked like he may have made some contact with Nelson Piquet Jr. as Nelson was leaving. That's what happens when you do fuel only. You get a lot of trucks coming out of their pit after their pit stop and a lot of guys coming in at the same time.
Take another look.
And we know Todd was limping to pit road because he had just spun and had those tires down. And, at that point, Todd couldn't see that PK was right beside him, so he was just cutting over to get toward his pit, and those trucks did make a little bit of contact.
So Nelson Piquet Jr. a little bit of damage to that 30 as they go back out onto the track. From the drop of the green flag, it has been the 22 of Joey Coulter dominating from Kentucky until the first caution came out. A little strategy taking place on pit road. And that puts the 7 of Parker Kligerman out in front now with the 99 of Brian Silas.
Yeah, Brian Silas did not come down pit road, so he actually is our leader. He chose the inside. Parker Kligerman now won the race off pit road. He will start on the outside of the front row.
Brian Scott also making some moves on pit road. He was able to pick up 6 spots and will restart this race in the 3rd position.
It's going to be interesting to see Joey Coulter's truck. He hasn't had any dirty air yet. He's been out front the entire time till the caution came out. So it's going to be interesting to see with him behind Parker Kligerman what's going to happen.
I told you this strategy was fun. You get a caution around lap 15 or 16 and people go crazy on you. What I look for is to see if Brian Scott can go 3 wide on them when they get down to turn 1. But Brian Silas isn't going to take a chance on that. He left early and got a lead into 1.
Matt Crafton made a 3 wide for just a moment, tried to get underneath Cale Gale in the 33. How about Ty Dillon on the outside?
Didn't take long. Brian Scott takes over the top spot. Behind him, James Busher in the 31 and the 7 of Parker Kligerman on the high side, trying to battle for that second position.
Look at Joey Coulter now. He's back a couple spots. He lost a couple spots on that restart. Johnny Sauter also backing up. Johnny spinning.
And around they go. Johnny Sauter into the wall as well as Tim George. He has contact.
Todd Bodine spins again as well. Todd's backwards up in turn 4. There's some damage to the left front of that truck.
Left side damage to the 11 of Todd Bodine. We were riding along with the 13. He has damage as well as the 2 of Tim George.
You know, you wonder, we saw Johnny Sauter backing up. You wonder if maybe he had a tire going down or something, because hardly anybody came down pit road. You see some damage to the 13 truck. Almost nobody put any tires on.
A lot of damage to the right rear of the 13. You see the sheet metal hanging out on that race truck as he comes to the attention of his crew on pit road, as does the 11 of Todd Bodine just in front of him.
Johnny restarted in the 8th spot. Let's take a look at this now. You see Johnny right there in the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, he's definitely got a tire going
Looked
down.
like maybe left rear, Michael.
Wow, what a job by Brennan Newberry getting by, but there was nowhere for Tim George to go, and you saw Todd Bodine clipping him too as he goes by. Let's watch this tire. Listen as this tire goes down. He knows he's in trouble.
2 of Tim George came in.
The second bounce was Todd Bodine clipping him as well.
Yeah, nothing for those guys. Nothing could have been done there.
So the hits keep coming for the 13 team in 2012. Todd Bodine also with issues, right?
The damage on this number 11 Toyota Care Tundra is very extensive. They're going to have to push him to the garage. And we did hear Johnny Sauter say on the radio before the crash even happened, my tire is going down. And they did determine after this pit stop, guys, you were right, it was the left rear.
And back on pit road once again for the 13 team, not wanting to lose a lap, but a lot of damage to that race truck.
We talked to him, right? You know, on the pace lap, he was very optimistic here. Had a great qualifying effort, qualified up on the front row, and man, oh man.
You can see that dark streak of oil down pit road. That's Todd Bodine's oil. Got an oil cooler when he hit the left front of that truck, and that's why they had to take it back to the garage. Hermie, what are they saying down there, bud?
Well, we got Dakota and the guys behind me. The engine is locked up. They don't really know why, but I got to tell you, I just heard Mr. Turner come tell you, apologize for the engine, and they're going to give you another chance in this truck. So that's got to make things a little bit better.
Yeah, I put my hats on all these guys. They work so hard. It's disappointing for it to end like this, but I know they're a great bunch of guys, and if we do get back in it, we'll have a good run. So I think we were going a little under power there in practice, and I think it just might have been just kind of letting go. And as soon as we took the green there, it just had no power and it was gone. And came in there and it was done. So, but disappointing. Hopefully, they'll work on it and figure out nothing. Hopefully, nothing happens to our teammates out there and they're fine.
But that's Dakota Armstrong. Hopefully, he'll get another shot in his truck. Remember, he told us in the pre-race show this would be the last 2 raw unless somebody comes along to help them. So maybe they'll get another chance in this Ford truck.
Also, the 11 of Todd Bodine back in the garage. The 13 of Johnny Sauter has extensive damage. We'll be back with the green flag next. Sunday race day delivers the ultimate setup for round 2 of the championship battle. Our experts tell you Keselowski and Johnson are on a collision course for the Cup. Take you inside the chase like never before. Michael Waltrip Racing All Access. NASCAR race day fueled by Sunoco. That's Sunday, 11 Eastern, live on Speed.
Oh, 5 times got his work cut out for him Sunday, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Up at Chicago, started up front and stayed there all day long. 18th qualifying today. It's going to be a great race from out in short track action. I know it's a mile, so it's technically a super speedway. They're going to act like they're on a short track Sunday in New Hampshire.
Your guys had a pretty good day today, huh?
Yeah, our guys were solid. It's been a fun chase so far. 1 race down, 9 to go. We hadn't lost anything so far, so see how it goes.
Up front of this one, it's Brian Scott. They used a little pit road strategy to get some positions off of pit road and up front. Now, James Busher just behind him, Parker Kligerman, Nelson Piquet Jr., and Cale Gale, your top 5.
I think we got to give credit to the pit crew for the 18 truck. But everyone came in and got fuel only, and they were able to get him out very early, got him out in the 4th spot. He gained about 4 or 5 spots on pit road, and he took that lead initially right after the restart.
You know, I might sacrifice a gallon or two of gas to get that track position. We know how hard it is to pass. Maybe you don't fill it completely up, get out and get in front. You're going to have to make another stop anyway for tires before long. Maybe they took a bit of a gamble, or maybe they just nailed that stop. And like you said, Phil, crew deserves all the credit.
Safety crews still continue to clean up after this most recent incident where Johnny Sauter and the 11 as well as the 2 all involved. They'll clean up. We'll be right back with Green Flag. Learn about clean coal with Dale Jr. Text ENERGY to 85080 to join coal supporters across the country, or visit americaspower.org.coalfacts. Field beginning to go 2-by-2 once again. The lights have gone off the pace truck out in front. It'll be Brian Scott and James Busher making up row number 1. Brian Scott has chose the outside line for the restart in that Dollar General Toyota.
That 31 truck of James Busher has been extremely fast in the early going here, making moves up through the top 5. I don't know, Phil. I think maybe he's got the truck to not only hold that inside line and grab the lead, but maybe walk off with it.
And that truck's been pretty fast on all the mile-and-a-halfs this year. That's the same truck, I believe, that won all 3 of the mile-and-a-half races that he's won this year.
He has been the dominant truck on mile-and-a-halfs.
Don't be surprised if he makes a statement here.
We'll see who wins the drag race. Coming out of turn number 4, Brian Scott has the advantage. He's the race leader, so he is supposed to be able to start or restart this race.
He is in charge of this restart. He has to start within the zone. But he is in control of this restart.
And then he has the advantage of, he should be the first truck back to the start-finish line. 2-by-2 all behind Brian Scott as they come through turn 4 into the quad oval. Green flag back in the air. We're back under power. And again, as you mentioned, down on the bottom of the racetrack, James Busher very strong on that bottom line. We'll see if momentum works for the 18.
Ty Dillon went down, made it 3 wide to make a pass.
The 18 trying to get back up on the outside of that 31 as they go down the backstretch, side by side, door to door for the lead.
18 got a little bit of a push from the teammate of the 31, Nelson Piquet Jr. in the 30.
Still side by side, working through 4. Now the advantage goes to the 18, but just by a half a truck length. Across the stripe, almost a dead heat. 16 1/1000ths of a second separated the 2, and here goes the 31 in front of the 18.
Joey Coulter made it 3 wide. He made some contact with a 7 to Kligerman.
It's Busher, Scott, PK Jr., Kligerman, and Coulter, your top 5.
Oh, caution. We got a spinner up in turn 4. That's Brian Silas. We saw him up front on the last restart. The truck slid back through the field. They came to pit road, and now he's gotten to the outside wall.
Damage to the back of that truck. We saw the spring fall out from underneath it. See it shortened up on the left side. So the caution comes out once again. This is the 3rd caution.
I think that was a bit of a statement, like we said, from James Busher. I've got a fast truck, boys. If I get out in front, you're liable not to see me anymore. He was able to hold that bottom for a whole lap before he squirted out ahead down in turn 1.
Now, does James Busher, since he got the lead on the bottom of the racetrack, does he restart on the bottom, or does he take the preferred higher line?
I think he goes up top. I believe that truck is. I think that it was a hard pass for him to make. He had to run side by side for a whole lap. I think he's on the outside. He gets the jump into turn 1. He probably makes easier work of Brian Scott. We'll see. He certainly did what you said, Rick. Right. He was on the bottom and got the lead. How do you argue with that kind of success?
And again, the problems for the 99 team.
Oh, there's an Aaron's lucky dog. Look there. Ryan Sieg's going to get to go around and, courtesy of Aaron's, get a lap back on his credit. I mean, on the field.
He's 2 laps down, so that'll put him within 1.
What a great race coming down the front stretch as we're on board with Ty Dillon.
Watch these guys battling for the lead. Coulter all the way down on the apron. You saw the sparks fly. Wonder if that could have done some damage to the front of that truck, Bill.
And I don't think the 7 of Kligerman knew he was down there. Watch this. They're going to make some contact here. Watch. Parker's going to go down. You see him make a little contact right there.
And look, boom. Remember, wasn't it a couple years ago where Kyle Busch went down on the apron during qualifying and had to go to repair his truck before he could start the race?
Had to start at the back.
That's exactly right. I hope that Coulter didn't do any damage to that fast truck of his.
So after just 1 lap of green flag racing, the caution comes back out, but a change at the top spot. Busher, your new leader in Kentucky.